Hello, this is my discussion thread for Women of the Revolutionary Era. Phillis Wheatley. Since my return to America, my master has at the desire of my friends in England given me my freedom. The legend of Phillis Wheatley has become more about the image and the meaning behind the character than about the person herself. Who was Phillis Wheatley? Phillis Wheatley was born in Gambia, Africa in 1753 and brought to Americas on a ship named Phillis. She was sold to a family in the Boston area and was taught to read and write. She became the second black woman ever in the colonies to publish a book of poems. During this time, she gained great fame throughout the colonies and Europe. She traveled to and toured London and was emancipated from slavery in 1777. She was a staunch proponent of the Revolution and supported the Patriots. She felt the only thing tarnishing the revolution was slavery. Phillis Wheatley's accomplishments. When her book of poetry, poems on various subjects, religious and moral, appeared, she became the first American slave, the first person of African descent, and only the third colonial American woman to have her works published. She opened the door for other African American writers, inspiring them to create history. Her works were often cited by reformists to negate the belief common among the American whites that Negroes were intellectually inferior. She was a devout Christian and made friends with many of the great minds of the time. The myth. As stated by Leah Milio, she fit the narrative of freedom and the role of women during the American Revolution. A genius enslaved African, publishing books and traveling the world. Then she's emancipated. But was it true? Phillis Wheatley was a slave for most of her life. She became famous and world renowned, but she was still a slave. She never shook hands, ate at the table with white folks, or stared them in the eye. She gained fame in spite of being a slave because the family she belonged to, the Wheatleys of Massachusetts, were able to support her in her endeavors after they recognized her talent. She was eventually emancipated, but after the revolution, most of Wheatley's benefactors had either died or their finances dried up. Little is ever talked about how Phillis Wheatley died. She died penniless and childless, scrubbing floors in a boarding house.